There's a kind of presence that doesn't require noise to be felt, a quiet energy that fills the space around someone without effort or demand. You've seen it before. The person who walks into a room and instantly everyone seems calmer, more at ease, a little more polished just by being near them. That's social grace. And while you can't buy it, flaunt it, or fake it for long, it defines what true class really is. In an age where people confuse attention with respect and luxury with labels, there remains a small, elegant group who play by an older code. They move differently, they speak differently, they think differently, and their secret isn't in what they show, it's in what they withhold. Before we uncover these hidden rules of timeless refinement, take a moment to subscribe to the Luxury Lane, where we explore the subtle world of quiet power, old money values, and the kind of wealth that doesn't need to shout. Because while trends fade, grace endures. Rule 1. The power of making others feel important. The first mark of true class isn't wealth, looks, or education. It's how you make others feel in your presence. People of real refinement have mastered one of life's greatest arts, making everyone around them feel seen. In a room full of people trying to be interesting, the truly elegant are interested. They ask questions that show genuine curiosity. They remember names. They give eye contact that feels like warmth, not inspection. In old money families, children were taught this early. Never speak to impress, speak to include. Because while new money often tries to dominate the room, old money quietly elevates it. Social grace is less about charm and more about awareness. The ability to notice subtle things others overlook, who hasn't been introduced, who seems uncomfortable, who might need to be drawn into conversation. The refined know that status doesn't come from being admired. It comes from making others feel valued. Rule 2. Restraint. The invisible badge of class. Restraint is one of the hardest, yet most powerful social skills to master. It's the pause before speaking when emotion tempts you to react. It's the decision to listen rather than interrupt. It's walking away from gossip instead of feeding it. To the truly refined, restraint isn't weakness, it's mastery. In high society, those who lose their composure lose credibility. The ability to remain calm when others are loud, patient when others are restless, and kind when others are critical, that's where social grace shines brightest. This is why old money often appears unbothered. It's not arrogance, it's training. They were raised to understand that composure is currency. The more you have, the more you're trusted. Because anyone can look polished when life is easy. It's grace under pressure that reveals character. Rule 3. Subtlety is the true language of refinement. If restraint is the foundation of class, subtlety is its poetry. The elegant never seek to be the center of attention, yet attention naturally gravitates toward them. Why? Because everything about them feels effortless. Their elegance is not in what they wear, but in how they wear it. Their homes are not filled with clutter, but with carefully chosen pieces that whisper history rather than scream trend. Their tone is soft but confident, their gestures graceful but unforced. You won't see them flaunt wealth. They don't need to. Luxury to them isn't about display, it's about discretion. A silk scarf inherited from a grandmother carries more beauty than a pile of brand new designer bags. A quietly worn heirloom watch holds more weight than one covered in diamonds. The old money elite understand that attention is not demanded. It's earned through presence. Because anyone can buy things that sparkle, but not everyone can embody a glow that never fades. Rule 4. Composure is the highest currency. There's a famous saying among certain European aristocrats, money buys manners, but grace takes generations. And that grace is most visible in one's emotional composure. True class is not tested when life is good, but when life becomes uncomfortable. How do you respond when insulted? When embarrassed? When everything seems to be falling apart? That's when refinement either breaks or reveals itself. Old money families quietly train this mindset from childhood. They teach their children to accept both praise and criticism with equal calm, to never let emotion dictate reaction, to never raise their voice in anger because dignity is lost the moment you lose control. Even in conflict, the refined do not humiliate others. They stay poised, measured, and respectful because they understand that self-control is power. Rule 5. The art of invisible kindness. Real elegance doesn't need an audience. The person of genuine class performs small acts of kindness, not for recognition, but because it's simply who they are. They send handwritten thank you notes when everyone else sends texts. They remember the waiter's name, the doorman's birthday, and the assistant's child. They notice details not to impress but to care. Old money manners are built on invisible courtesies. You don't see them brag about generosity or post their charity online. Their refinement lies in the fact that the people around them feel lighter after crossing their path, whether they were equals or strangers. Rule 6. Never complain, never boast. The refined have a quiet rule they live by. Complain privately, celebrate humbly. Complaining drains others, boasting alienates them. Both reveal insecurity. Old money prefers composure over commentary. They don't need to tell you how hard life is, nor how successful they are. Both are self-indulgent in their own way. Instead, they present calm. They deal with problems quietly and they celebrate victories discreetly. It's not about being secretive, it's about being self-contained. Their satisfaction doesn't come from external validation, but from inner steadiness. They know that emotional privacy is a sign of strength, because the moment you seek sympathy or applause, you've handed your piece to others. The truly elegant don't need reactions. They have self-respect. Rule 7. Respect for time, space, and presence. Time is the one currency even the wealthiest cannot buy back, and those with true class understand that respecting it is one of the highest forms of courtesy. They arrive on time, not fashionably late. They keep appointments short, answer invitations promptly, and never make others wait. Because in refined circles, being late doesn't signal importance. It signals inconsideration. But this rule extends beyond punctuality. It's about respecting emotional and social space too. People of grace know when to speak and when to remain silent. They sense when someone wishes to leave a conversation and they let them go without pressure or guilt. They never overstay their welcome or dominate attention. Their presence feels light, never invasive, never draining. And that's why people enjoy being around them. It's not about charm or charisma, it's about awareness. Old money families teach this subtly. At dinner tables, children are encouraged to read the room, to notice who hasn't spoken, who looks uncomfortable, and who needs acknowledgement. Because the highest form of sophistication isn't in what you say, it's in what you sense. Rule 8. Speak softly but leave an impression. The refined voice is rarely loud but always clear. There's a unique power in those who speak softly and deliberately. Their calm tone draws people in rather than pushing them away. It signals control, not insecurity. In aristocratic homes, eloquence was considered an art, not because of vocabulary but because of intention. Words were used sparingly with care and precision. A person of grace doesn't gossip, exaggerate, or overshare. They know that speech is a mirror of the mind and every word leaves a reflection. Old money has a quiet saying, "Let others discover who you are." Never declare it yourself when they speak. It's with warmth, humility, and clarity. They're generous with compliments but never flattery. They share stories but never secrets, because they understand that the goal of conversation isn't to perform, it's to connect. Rule 9. Adapt without losing yourself. The most refined individuals can move through any environment, from palaces to airports, from art galas to local cafes, without ever appearing out of place. That's not because they conform, it's because they adapt. True social grace means adjusting to your surroundings while remaining rooted in your values. At a formal dinner, they observe etiquette with natural ease. At a casual gathering, they're approachable and warm. They can speak to a CEO or a gardener with the same genuine respect, because they see people, not positions. This flexibility is not an act, it's empathy in motion. Old money calls it situational elegance. It's the skill of blending into a setting without losing authenticity. It's what makes refined individuals so disarmingly comfortable. They put everyone around them at ease. Because when you no longer need to prove who you are, you can finally enjoy who others are. Rule 10. Discretion is dignity. Among old money circles, one value stands above all others: discretion. Discretion is what keeps reputations intact, families respected, and relationships trusted. It's the invisible armor of the elite. Those with social grace never reveal more than necessary. They don't gossip, expose personal details, or discuss sensitive topics in public. They know that privacy is power and mystery is magnetic. It's not about secrecy, it's about self-respect. When someone confides in them, it stays there, locked, untold, unquestioned. When others lose their composure, they stay calm and never repeat the story. Rule 11. Gratitude, the quiet mark of nobility. Gratitude may sound ordinary, but in old money households, it's treated as a sign of breeding. You'll see it in the smallest gestures: the thank you note written by hand, the genuine compliment to staff, the appreciation for effort regardless of social rank. True class doesn't just say thank you, It feels it, because behind refinement is always humility. The understanding that success, opportunity, and even comfort are privileges, not entitlements. Old money families often remind their children that elegance is not inherited. It must be earned daily through behavior. That's why gratitude is so powerful. It prevents pride from curdling into arrogance. It reminds even the wealthiest that respect must be mutual. And while arrogance closes doors, gratitude quietly opens them all. Rule 12. Stillness, the final signature of grace. The most subtle rule of all, stillness. Stillness isn't about being motionless. It's about being centered, the calm confidence that radiates from someone who isn't trying to impress anyone. They move slowly but purposefully. Their gestures are graceful, not exaggerated. Their posture is straight but never stiff. In conversation, they never fidget or rush, because their presence alone speaks volumes. Stillness is the physical expression of self-control. It's the outward reflection of inner harmony. Old money refinement has always been about rhythm, moving through life with grace, never haste, acting with intention, never impulse. And that's why those who possess stillness seem timeless. They make even chaos feel orderly, because grace at its core isn't about being perfect, it's about being composed. There's something magnetic about people who move through life with quiet assurance. They don't need to announce their wealth, status, or influence. You feel it in their calm. When they walk into a room, they don't chase attention, yet heads turn. When they speak, they don't rush or fill every silence, yet everyone listens. That is the ultimate result of mastering the hidden rules of social grace, an effortless authority that comes not from material things, but from inner balance. Rule 13. Courtesy without expectation. Courtesy, in the world of true refinement, is never conditional. People of genuine class are polite to everyone, from the waiter who pours their wine to the billionaire sitting beside them. They treat each person with the same level of attention and dignity, not because it looks good, but because it feels right. This quiet egalitarianism is deeply rooted in old money values. For generations, children were reminded that nobility obliges, meaning privilege carries responsibility. The more comfortable your life, the more gracious your conduct should be. That's why the truly polished never make others feel small. They never ignore the staff, never treat kindness as optional, and never mistake wealth for superiority. Because in the refined world, how you treat those who can do nothing for you says everything about who you are. Rule 14. Refinement in apology. Apologizing when done with grace is one of the most powerful social gestures there is. Old money individuals understand that taking responsibility is not weakness, it's refinement. When they make a mistake, they acknowledge it promptly without excuses or drama. Their apology is simple, sincere, direct, and often private. No over-explanation, no public display, just genuine humility. Because people of true class know that preserving harmony is more important than protecting ego. Rule 15. Generosity without performance. There's a difference between charity and generosity. Charity is giving because it's expected. Generosity is giving because it's natural. True class doesn't announce its giving. It funds scholarships quietly. It helps a friend without broadcasting it. Tips well without needing to post about random acts of kindness. This subtle approach to generosity is what separates genuine refinement from performative goodness. The old money elite were taught that giving is not a spectacle, it's a duty. That if your success doesn't benefit anyone beyond yourself, then it's merely consumption, not contribution. And because their acts of kindness are invisible, their impact lasts longer. They build loyalty, gratitude, and goodwill that money alone can never buy. That's the secret beauty of understated generosity. It doesn't make noise, it makes a difference. What makes social grace so captivating is not just its elegance, it's its effect. People of grace change how others feel about themselves. They bring calm into chaos, warmth into tension, dignity into ordinary moments. This influence doesn't come from dominance. It comes from emotional intelligence, the ability to regulate yourself while elevating others. It's why, even in modern society, the truly refined are unforgettable. They create harmony simply by existing in it. When they enter a room, conversations soften. When they leave, they're missed, not because of what they said or wore, but because of how they made everyone else feel respected, valued, and seen. That's what true class does. It doesn't demand attention, it earns affection.